Come on! Hello, I'm George Massey. This is episode 2 of Food for Thought, where today we will be talking about Sega! To begin, when I was a little kid, video games were relatively new.
This boy is doing more than just playing a video game. He has entered another world, a world of danger, intrigue, and
fire. Farewell! The fate of the world is in your hands! Backed by a beast!
Nintendo. Now you're playing with power.
The Master System.
The Sega Master System.
Hang on.
With Sonic and Alex Kidd was an incredible thing.
More levels of play.
Awesome.
Then technology progressed and we moved on to the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo.
Our video game industry is hotter than ever this season.
Wow. That's fast. Now you're racing with power. Superpower.
Now the thing is, along with that wave of video games and 16-bit entertainment, there was a new wave of entertainment outside of the home. Living in London, where I grew up, there were two particular activities that got right into our imaginations and sucked us in. The first was Quasar. Now, if you ever went to Quasar, Quasar was an amazing place to go. You had these suits, you had big laser guns that fired real lasers. The whole thing was as if you were a marine in outer space and you were at war with the other team. You had to fire your laser at their base in order to win. It was hard to get to their base. Now, the other thing that was incredible is in central London there was a place, the Trocadero, and it had Segaworld.
Segaworld is coming to the Trocadero Piccadilly Circus in London. Welcome to the next generation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Managing Director of Sega Amusement Europe. I'm very pleased to welcome you tonight to our official launch of Segaworld.
Segaworld was the biggest indoor video game theme park in the world, in the whole world.
Segaworld will occupy over 100,000 square feet of the Trocadero, and when finished will be the largest indoor theme park in the known world.
It was top to bottom with arcades.
It's time for the one-man army.
Cowabunga!
Fire! Hang on, April.
There were 3D rides, virtual experiences, there were video games that spun you upside down. They had Ridge Racer, the Namco racing game, where you got to sit in an actual car and the screens wrapped around you. Okay, it was amazing. Totally futuristic environment. You could go on these escalators and it was like you were floating upon this intergalactic metropolis. You looked down and everything was an ocean of neon, a glowing city of light stretching down below, all kinds of hidden depths and secret rooms and places that you wanted to explore, a whole world of gaming and fun and technology and new things and places to discover, and it seemed to unravel almost like the Rainbow Road in the Super Mario Kart, except less dangerous. But over and above all of that, the most remarkable thing about Segaworld really is that if you went to the basement, past the Imaginator, past the James Bond experience, past all of the arcades, past Funland, past Segaworld, in the bottom of the Trocadero there was something called Alien War.
Hello. Now, the Aliens trilogy has become one of the most popular series of action films of all time, and certainly made the name of its star, Sigourney Weaver. Well, such is its success that the Trocadero Centre has even set up Alien War, an alien adventure playground no less, and it's all set to become London's most frightening attraction.
Wars, based on the Alien films, had its grand opening tonight at the Trocadero in Piccadilly. Sigourney Weaver, the star of the Alien films, is there.
Right underneath Piccadilly Circus lurks something evil.
But the one perhaps that's the most frightening is, in space, no one can hear you.
Start.
Alien War was a totally immersive experience whereby they would run you down corridors,
1,300 square metre labyrinth of tunnels, passageways and elevators.
Marines with pulse rifles.
This is an M41B pulse rifle.
Smoke, lights, strobe lighting, aliens coming out of the dark, coming out of the ceiling. They put you on elevators just like in the movie, and when you were going down the elevator or up it, aliens would appear in the ceiling, they would grab people, they would pull them out.
One of the aliens came and grabbed the woman and she was screaming, it was so scary.
People collapsing, hyperventilating. I mean, it was incredible. In fact, a week after we opened, we actually had to go back into the base and build in exit points.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Super.
Oh, it was terrific.
Oh my God.
I got grabbed by an alien. It was the most terrifying thing that's ever happened to me. I'm still shaking.
I would come again, yes.
It's not like Quasar. It's totally different to anything I've ever done before.
The Super Nintendo introduced something called the FX chip, and it blew our minds.
You are witnessing a new technology. The first and only game powered by the Super FX microchip.
The next step was when the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn came out, and when we started to see things like this. nothing would ever be the same again. So, before we move on to part 2 of this episode, before we look into the future and see where all of this is going.
The future.
To this day, whenever I go to a mall or a high street, it always feels as if we've descended and almost regressed, because it's popular now to go and drink coffee, to go clothes shopping. Do we really work all week so that we can just eat and buy clothes? Almost primal troglodyte kind of activities. Why are these futuristic things that were intense and stimulating and made us feel alive, why did they disappear only to be replaced by the mundane? I would say, isn't there room for both? Can't we have games at home and immersive activities outside of the home as well? Isn't there room for both? Because if people speak to me about their concept of the future, the average vision of the future, we already had it, and it was 20 years ago. So on one hand, it kind of upsets me to think that all of that magic and imagination and creativity and storytelling and innovation, to think that all of it is gone, to think that it burned itself out so quickly that almost nobody really had a chance to experience it. I think it's very, very sad. But for those of us who experienced it, they are memories that none of us would ever want to forget.
Oh, wow! That's not virtual reality, that's total reality.
It's sort of innovative and sort of science fiction. You know, they get to be scared out of their wits and they get to sort of go on an adventure into the future.
One idea we've got for the future is hopefully for all the future sites around the world, we're thinking about actually starting off with a simulation dropship where we put all the people inside the dropship, we take them down to LV26 and they'll relive their emergency situation. After that, once the place is about to self-destruct, they all get back in their dropship and they'll take off back to Earth. And hopefully we will then create the ultimate total adventure, which will take you beyond virtual reality into a world of total reality.